12:24 a.m. on this, the first day of July, as we begin this thing of ours, as we find ourselves, and as I am looking through so much to find out specifically what it is that I want to discuss, and I can't find yet something that I think draws me to the point of excitement, except for the fact that I see one of the most important cases, the most important times for the Republican Party, whatever they are, to jump on this Zohran Mamdani bandwagon. And it is handing the Republicans a chance for winning. And not only that, changing the entire course, the course of history. And I don't know if the Republicans are smart enough to do it. So that you probably have gathered, I don't think the Republicans are very smart. Politically, they are absolutely horrid. They are beyond, I don't know what the word is. I don't know why it is. But when it comes to politics, they're not very good. They might have been good in the old days, but they're not good now. And I don't know what the reason for that is. I don't know why they are like that, but they just are. I would have in my White House, I would have this constant person who was there who always advised what to do, specifically regarding politics, where to set up, where do we go, how do we exploit everything that is important and critical. That's what I would do. And I don't know if anybody else would join me in that particular way of thinking, or if anybody would care, but I am of the opinion that I would have constantly, kind of like the way Dick Morris, I think, used to be portrayed. I don't know if he's that way now, but the way Dick Morris used to be portrayed in the Clinton administration. I would have somebody say, what is it that we do? And who is the Republican Party and who runs it? Who runs the show? And what would you do? What would you say? How would you describe to somebody who might be considering wanting to be a Republican? What would you say? What would be the basis or bases for such? What would be the reason? What would you say? Let me remind you. On July the 19th, now I can say July, the 19 days, I'm going to be at the Cutting Room in New York City. Please join me. Join the fun. Join the mayhem. Join the fun. Join the frolic. Join it. At the Cutting Room, tickets are available. The link is available right here on this piece here, or you go to lionelmedia.com. Or you see me on X, which we used to call Twitter. So please be aware of that. This is day 3 or 4 of what appears to be one of the most painful. It's almost like an ingrown nail. And I'm sure there is a pocket of purulence somewhere at the bottom of this that I would love right now to stick a needle deep within my finger and release this Vesuvius-like pool of purulence that is causing me the most horrible of pain. I know it's not that big of a deal, but it's amazing. It just is a constant throb. It's fascinating. In any event, the lesser of two evils is still evil. Remember that, my friends. The term, the lesser of two evils, is one of my favorite phrases. And why people do this, I have no idea. I think sometimes we become cliched. And we say things oftentimes in our argumentation, that's a cliche. Because we say it for so long that maybe it means something to us in the old days, but I don't really think it does. Let me see if I can get a better perspective. There we go. There we go. Looking at some of your focus. Both parties suck beyond belief. Both parties suck beyond belief. Could you maybe, I don't know, what sucks beyond belief? Is that, I'm just saying, I'm sure that, I'm not going to argue with you per se. AIPAC genocide complicit, Congress critters that can't pass the Al Capone income to asset test. AIPAC genocide. I think AIPAC has suffered tremendously. More people are saying AIPAC than we ever knew even possible, or whoever even talked about it. More people are using the word AIPAC than anybody had ever imagined. I would love to be there to see you in person, but truly New York scares me. Help me believe it might be safe. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I don't think Jay. I don't know what to tell you. It's the first thing is when you see the swarms of people. It's just swarming with people, tourists. So I don't know. I can't. I don't think I can. I don't think I'd love to see you, but I don't think I can help you. I think people love to be afraid of New York. I think it's something that they just kind of enjoy, and I think it kind of it provides this perseveration of an idea of what it is. Hey Lionel, is Tulsi Gabbard still in the administration? I think she's capitulated. I think she's given up. I think Tulsi has just thrown in the Yvonne DiCarlo, that wonderful skunk streak. I think I don't know what the hell she's doing. I've lost so much respect for her. I realized, okay, you're a politician like everybody else. The Republicans are undercover phonies, and more than the Democrats aren't reflecting the will of their constituents. That might be one of the closest things to truth I think we've ever seen. I came every year for the New York International Hair Show, and I loved it, and now it scares me. Well, Jay, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not scared. We're not scared. Again, like I said, it's packed with people. Tourism is like you cannot believe. I was watching something that was very interesting. Did you see this latest story? Maybe you didn't, maybe you did, I don't know. And it's the story, by the way, the Diddy case is getting really interesting. That's going to be really, really interesting. Anyway, let's see what happens. That could very well be a hung jury. Family of Idaho sniper breaks silence after he shot firefighters dead. I'm not going to mention this fellow's name. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Why don't they say he shot himself in the head? He killed himself. A self-inflicted gunshot wound. Why do we use phrases like that? Do you talk like that? I don't. He died of he turned the gun on himself. Why? Why? Sniper who lured and killed firefighters in Idaho shown in 1,000-yard stare photo. Idaho sniper suspect made chilling post hours before deadly ambush. You see, and by giving people the story of him, he knew before he died, I'm going to be on the front page of every newspaper there is. Did you see this great little story about AOC? I love this. I don't know why I find this so interesting. AOC's childhood nickname from her time growing up in Westchester County recently resurfaced as the squad lawmaker has faced scrutiny over her Bronx girl claims. The progressive Paul was known as Sandy as a youngster in Yorktown. She was amazing, science teacher said. She was amazing. Aside from her winning one of the top spots and going to the Intel International School of Science and Engineering Fair, she was one of the most amazing presenters in all the years I've been at Yorktown. Amazing. Even as she was described as a stellar student from the suburbs during her growing years, Ocasio-Cortez has repeatedly claimed she grew up in the Bronx. See, when people lie about stuff that doesn't matter. Did you see that feller who was going to plead guilty, by the way? Did you see that feller? Oh, here we go. This guy looks, Brian Kohlberger, to plead guilty. This guy threw everything away. He didn't have much of a chance. The sister of one of the 4 University of Idaho students slain in their off-campus home blasted the shocking and cruel plea deal that will spare the life of accused killer Brian Kohlberger. Aubrey Gonsalves, 18, voiced her outrage over the deal in which Kohlberger will cop to killing her sister and 3 others in a lengthy statement posted on Facebook. The introduction of the plea deal just 3 days before the scheduled trial is both shocking. State prosecutors reportedly sent a letter to the families informing them of a deal that will let him dodge the death penalty, provided he admits to breaking into a student rental and butchering 4 University of Ohio undergrads. There's any time you can guarantee a death. They always say that the fact that he's facing life in prison, he will get to speak, form relationships, and engage with the world. I've heard this before. Kohlberger was a PhD criminology student, is facing 4 murder charges. See, anytime somebody can guarantee, do it. Anytime, do it. Because it will be forever that this son of a bitch is in trial. It will be forever that he ever faces any kind of justice. And when somebody spends the rest of their life without the possibility of parole, if that's it, you may say, well, he's going to forge relationships. That's true. That's true. He won't die. Well, that's true. But do you really want the death penalty? Does the death penalty mean anything anymore? I know there's always closure. But one of the things that people don't understand is that it's not for the government, it's not for the family or whatever, to make any kind of ideas or plans as to how this thing works. It's not for the government. The state is, or the government is the state of Florida or the state of New York or state of whatever versus somebody. I know many of you, fabulous people, I know many of you like the idea I know you like the death penalty. And I know a lot of people enjoy the death penalty. I know a lot of people truly, truly, truly enjoy the death penalty. I know this. I think it's a waste of time. I don't think it matters. I don't think anybody actually even cares about who dies or who doesn't. I don't think it matters in the least. I don't think so. I know I'm not supposed to say that, and I know people don't think that. I don't think it matters. I know that if your family is involved, you want them tortured, you want them killed, and you want them to suffer, and I recognize that completely. But I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. Period. End of discussion. Period. That's it. I don't think it matters. So, my friends, today we're going to try our best to talk about this. I got to tell you something. I saw something today which I thought was so. I saw something, and I can't explain this to you, but I'll try. I grew up thinking that the best comedian I ever saw in my life, I think the best the comedian who during his prime was the greatest was Robert Klein. Absolutely the best. Nobody can touch him. Nobody can hold a candle to him. Nobody is as good as Robert Klein. Nobody. Period. End of discussion. And what he did, Child of the 50s, was it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, I think, comedy album ever. It's brilliant in his subsequent shows on Broadway. And yet when I listen to him speak politically, it's the most infantile, mocking the notion that we are somehow conspiracy theorists because we believe in the fact that maybe vaccines maybe the fact that they haven't been tested. Do you know that Bobby Kennedy has been trying his best to, I think on Tucker, trying to explain that the tests that people claim that were done that eliminate autism or exclude autism as a possibility, as any kind of a connective tissue to these things, that they were, that, how do I say this? That the actual studies were done on MMR, this is the autism connection, MMR with thimerosal, but that none of the new studies, that the studies are incomplete. So what people do is they just say there's an absolute, it is a conclusive study that autism is in no way connected with vaccines because this particular test has been concluded, or the testing has been done, and that there's no doubt in anybody's mind. Well, what Bobby Kennedy says is, no, that's not true. So I'm listening to Robert Klein, I'm thinking, and he talks about things almost as though it's so cliched, and it's grounded in the idea, in the basis, that somehow we, all of us, I guess, are crazy. And that I'm somehow crazy because after, they never say anything about the 4 years of absolute abject horror that we had to endure with Biden. They never bring it up. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, please listen to the people that you do not necessarily agree with to find out what you do believe in. Listen to people who say that if you disagree with, I think it was Douglas Murray, who is such a, I can't believe this guy's being held up. What a clown. Have you heard this guy? That if you disagree with Israel, with Bibi Netanyahu, you're anti-Semitic. This is the ultimate in desperation. So remember, today, always listen to people that you may not necessarily agree with. Listen to them because sometimes they're better able to explain to you what it is that you feel than anybody who purportedly says something that you agree with, if that makes any sense. Sometimes you have to listen to people whom you disagree with, okay? In any event. All right, my friends, have a beautiful and a great and a glorious day. This finger is killing me. I know you don't care about it. I'm not trying to. I don't want any kind of sympathy. I don't want any kind of sympathy whatsoever. I want you to remember this. Do not have, sympathy is not what I'm looking for. But I just want you to know I am in complete and total agony for reasons that I cannot believe. Prison life is worse than death? Maybe, from Fred Haddad. He'll get his in prison guaranteed? Maybe. Without video evidence, no way to the death, no way, without video evidence, no way to the death penalty. Don't know what that means. Capital punishment works in China. What do you mean it works? What does that mean? What does that mean? Autism due to toxins in everything we consume, especially the cocktail that's given to young ones. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised. We don't know this because we are not experts or epidemiologists. In any event, my friends, have a beautiful and a glorious day. I'm going to go on in about 15 minutes. Please follow me on WABC, 770 WABC, or WABCradio.com. Get the app. Check out the app. It's a beauteous app. It's wonderful. And until then, my friends, I thank you so much. Don't forget July 19th at the Cunning Room. Until then, let me get rid of this. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da. Here comes my thumb as I push this thing off. Da, da.